increasingly there's so many open jobs in IT. There's so many companies struggling to get people not just educated, but also continuously updated, continuous education, because software nowadays is changing all the time. The old days used to be, a company would update its software once a year, or, even once or twice every couple of years. And nowadays, that rate of change, literally we have some customers updating their software every week. And with that continuous rate of change through the software, you really need solutions like virtual labs that's going to help you, teach and educate and skill people inside a live environment versus screenshots, PowerPoints, videos. They're all good, but they become less effective if the thing that you're learning is constantly changing and updating. If you're new to the notion of virtual labs and why do people use virtual labs, a lot of this is driving around the increasing need to use people's times effectively. In addition to video and instructor-led, obviously one of the best ways to learn technical knowledge is learning by doing, and that's where virtual labs come into play. Now, where you're doing this, obviously if you're learning by doing, it gives you a better sense of confidence, because as you progress through the lab, depending on how the lab authors built their lab, there can be checkpoints around knowledge, there can be scoring scripts. It's not, your old typical lab, if you've taken them before, which is kind of your step-by-step. And if you follow all the steps, then obviously you're going to get the lab right. More modern labs are much more interactive and much more kind of what we call challenge-based, which is rather than giving you everything that you need to do, it gives you enough to figure out on your own the next step or the next task in the lab. And you kind of learn by solving challenges while you're going through the lab and learning overall by doing. And then the other thing, kind of unique to Skillable is we are the world's largest virtual lab provider. Hundreds of customers are using us around the world. In fact, just last week, we had one of our customers start launching global programs where they're now training 50,000 people a month through virtual labs. That's incredible, but it also gets us to the point where, virtual lab technology solutions through Skillable is highly scalable. And, obviously if you're doing, labs for 10 people or 100 or 1,000, or in this case, I just mentioned 50,000 a month, our platform on the back end, scales up and handles that, so you don't have to worry about it. Your focus is building effective, well-designed, hands-on labs to solve the problems that your company is facing. And this could be, the need to go and train people on your company software. Maybe you're a training company and you need to train people on vendor software products, but in the background, you don't have to worry about making, reservations or something like that. The backend system that Skillable offers goes through and handles that stuff literally automatically.